Back to another ClearMud live stream. Today we vibe. This weekend's all about deploying this new website. Today we're going to work on a bunch of different things. All right, we're live there, so we're good. Loud and clear. Let's make sure that background music's not too loud. How's everyone doing today? How was the week? I had a solid, productive week. Need to fix my sleep schedule, but nevertheless, solid week. All right, we're good there, we're good there. And we're good there. All right, I want to get into, so this coming week, let's harvest. This is a video I recorded and I want to re-record it. So we're going to trash this one. Just throw that in the backlog. Yo, what's up, Derek? I know, right? I am slow start. I had a triple espresso about 30 minutes ago, and I'm still not feeling the effects of it. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the weather's so nice out. So tomorrow I'm gonna make sure to wake up at about 7 or 8 a.m., head out to the farm, touch some grass. The farm should be looking awesome, even after the fire. I can't wait to see kind of how things have grown and the color, and flowers are starting to bloom over here as well. So it should be some fun photography this weekend as well around the farmland. But, you know, we power through. But then also excited to work on Infra Saturday. Excited to work on this new website. Just put the finishing touches on it. And also, one thing I got notified of is, it's been a blast creating these two tools for free. However, they are starting to cost a little more than I think they should, but maybe they're just, you know, being used that much to where this is for the first week after putting it on its own plan. Let me show off the kind of overview budget here. So as you can see, ClawCrib, since I made the transition to its own project so I can properly kind of determine how much it's costing, I think that's 1 week of use, of public use, $32. So you add that up to a month, and with some growth, I mean, listen, I love doing these free tools, but I do need to start thinking about making money off of them somehow, not to put in my pocket, but to keep them running, right? So like, this is okay for now, but as this grows, like, I'll be brutally honest with you guys, I'm not gonna pay out of pocket to keep these things running, right? So I need to be a little bit more thoughtful with that approach. And I'm going to separate, like right now with ClearMud as a whole, you know, my normal monthly usage for internal operations is about 25 to 40 bucks max. So that's another, you know, $50 difference that is coming from either Prompt Browser or a combination of Prompt Browser and ClawCrib before I moved it into its own project to properly figure out how much it's costing me, right? So I think today the new focus also is, let's open up CMux. Let's put Prompt Browser on its own project. I think it's critical. Oh, you know what? I did try adding Prompt Browser to my main billing account. I might have to create a separate billing account just for products. Like one for outbound, one for kind of like inbound as far as like internal ops versus projects. Let's see. So let's see if I can add a new billing account here. Yeah. No, for sure. And listen, this is a learning process, right? With these tools. I love the idea of free and open, but you know, in reality, as this channel grows, as the attention grows, as the use of these tools grow, I need to think of a solution for that. Now, my agents on our last Saturday sync came up with an interesting concept, and they brought this up. They kind of predicted this. They said that eventually you're going to get to the point of these API usage being so much that you got to think of a solution to cover the overhead. And they came up with like, not necessarily a Costco membership, but a membership to ClearMud as a whole that gives you access, unlimited access to all of the tools, right? So I'm kind of leaning that direction, but then I'd have to go down the path of figuring out, okay, how can we set up one OAuth database that gives access to all the tools rather than individual OAuth databases, individual, you know, accounts that are kind of separate from one another, databases that are separate from one another. So I want to think a little bit more thoughtfully about that approach, but I do love the idea of like a ClearMud membership that just gives you unlimited access to all the tools, and then having the free tiers be insanely limited, sadly, you know. But before we even explore that, I want to talk to, oh, that's a bummer. It didn't, that's a bummer. Okay. Let's go to dev, ClearMud projects, change directory. What's interesting is it didn't save my workspaces like it normally does. Do I have another CMux window open? Is that why? Or does it not have that memory? Hey, Claude, I'm just looking over the kind of first week of usage on this tool, and it's 30 some odd dollars since I created a separate project on the Google Cloud Console to kind of monitor how much it's costing. So I'd like you to look into, you know, this tool currently uses Gemini 3.1 Flashlight. I want you to look at all of the Gemini options and compare the pricing. To see if there's a more efficient model that we could use for the build and help parts of this web app. All right, we're gonna have Claude do this for us. Then I want to open up another one. We're gonna rename this one prompt browser.net. Yo, what's up, Tracy? Good morning, welcome back. Happy to have you here. How you doing today? Yeah. And then, you know, like the other thought I have is like, you know, someone else can just go and prompt their Claude the same questions, right? Now, is it going to feed off of the same logic and sources? Probably not. So is it worth a paid plan? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. There's always the argument of like, okay, what does this tool do? Okay, now what can I just go prompt to bypass? Like, there's a way for me to prompt a LLM to do what this tool is doing. There's always that argument, right? There's always that perspective. Yeah, it is. Convex does make it easy to set up Stripe integration. So it would be worth a shot. Now, doing that completely live is kind of so-so. I have to be thoughtful about what I show, et cetera, et cetera. I think doing a dummy project where we do Stripe integration would be very valuable to people in general. So I think, you know, I'm shocked I don't have that on my list here. see what it comes up with. Hey, what's up, Paul? I'm not stopping. I'm working on my OS build. So I'm rewatching your boot camps, dropping in here. Hey, let's go. I appreciate you. Thanks for the support, Paul. I can't wait to see what you build. Yeah, you can set up different accounts. Like you can set up one organization, for example, whether it's your personal account or in my case, I did a ClearMud LLC organization. And then I have individual projects that have their own environments in Stripe. So you don't have to put it all in one. That way you can properly see, you know, what is bringing in what on any given month, etc. You can kind of keep things sandboxed in a way to where if something gets exploited or something happens, it doesn't affect the rest of your products or projects within Stripe. All right. But I like the idea of doing a dummy project and showing the step-by-step on how to set up Stripe. I think I'm going to come back, do a round 2, and talk about Convex plus Stripe. Let's also look at, to see if there's a need. Let's go YouTube, past year, how to set up Stripe with Claude, or a lot of spikes here. Set up payments for SaaS. Need to get a little bit more thoughtful with these keywords. I feel like, did they update this? So explore. Yeah, I think they did update this. Can explore Stripe worldwide, YouTube. I mean, Stripe is such, yeah, Stripe payment is probably the term I'm looking for. Stripe payment setup. Still very low in the grand scheme of it. Oh, that's too broad of a term. But I think there's a way for us to package the video of like, you launched a product, right? You built something vibe coding. All right, here's how to set up Stripe payments. And I think that would be very valuable, right? Let's first go look at how to set up Stripe payment, Claude code. I think there is a need, right? Now, is there any like recently uploaded here? Oh, look, Raz Mike is on the official Convex channel. I didn't realize that. And I'm not subscribed. Let me subscribe. That's awesome. Let's go back to that video. He does a great job making videos and explaining
You're
things.
building a Convex application. It's fast, it's smooth, it's fully reactive, and you're at the point it's time to integrate Stripe. It's time to get paid. Now you can integrate Stripe yourself, or you can use Convex's Stripe component, which is what I'm going to be showing you in today's video. And all it takes, ladies and gents, is one npm command, a couple minutes of setup.
Interesting. Interesting. I like the idea of this. Whoa, hey now. What just happened here? Hey, oh, is there another Claude? So this specific error. Interesting. Interesting. That's a bummer. Is there something going on with Claude status? All right, major. Looks like we're not doing much vibe coding today, huh? At least not with Claude. Oh, lovely. Man, this is becoming way too consistent to where that's a bummer. That's a bummer. Looks like today we just vibe without the coding. Oh, man. Doing pretty good setting up my research system at the moment while waiting for my work and the day job. It's the first step actually. Nice, nice. Let's go. Step by step, right? I love that you're starting off with one thing and not trying to build multiple systems in parallel, right? That's very smart. Yeah. No, I think, listen, I think a lot of people, more and more people are going to keep building their own tools and thinking of how to monetize. So, you know, that's one kind of like vertical of videos I haven't focused on yet that I think I should focus on. So I don't know if that video is next week or the week after that, but it's going into my queue for sure. Yeah, I did see that announcement. You know, I'm really bummed about that. I'm really bummed about that because let's go take a look. That's very sad. It's like one thing after the next. It's Tark. What's his name? Who's the Claude Code dude who's very active? Oh, THARIQ. Got it. This right here. So this is actually my time zone. So 1 to 7 p.m. is my time zone. This is also, yeah, it pretty much falls in line with when we're live streaming, when we're doing the boot camps, that it looks like, did they say it's going to double? It doesn't specifically say whether it's doubling, tripling, etc. That's a bummer. I don't mind it from the perspective of being on this side of the world and then just working on Claude Code or working on projects internally from, you know, 7 a.m. to noon, for example, and then stopping in the middle of the day. But then when I'm back in Pacific time zone, I can't do that work in the morning, right? I'm going to have to do that work in the afternoon, which actually isn't a bad thing. But, you know, maybe the move here, depending on how bad it is like moving our live streams up by 2 hours. I don't like that. I like the consistent approach, but we might have to, right? I might have to start streaming later here and then, you know, later there as well. We're just going to figure it out as we go. Yeah, what was it called? Mythos? Mythos? Let's just search Twitter to see. Mythos, Claude. I think it was Mythos. Something myth. Yeah, Mythos. Now, listen, this is not, I don't know if this is real. I mean, this person does have a big following. He's actually followed by Theo as well. Let's see. Theo wouldn't follow a scam account, at least I don't think so. I'm curious on the cost, right? Because I know when Opus first came out, it was token. I mean, it still is token hungry, but in the grand scheme of it, it's like, how will that affect the 5-hour window, especially on a pro plan? Not even thinking about a max plan, thinking about the average person, the person who doesn't want to invest $200 a month only $20 a month, like, can they even use that model and get anything done, right? Because that's how Opus was at first for $20 a month plans. You would prompt once or twice and your 5-hour window would be gone, right? I have a feeling it's going to be the same thing. Interesting. This one's calling it Claude Opus 5 Mythos leak. Interesting. So does Opus stop at 4 and 4.6 and 4.7, etc.? Huh. So Mythos is a new name for a new tier of model, larger and more intelligent than our Opus models, which were, until now, our most powerful. We chose the name to evoke deep connective tissue that links together knowledge and ideas. Mythos definition. I mean, a set of beliefs about something. So is it a set of beliefs about being as vague as possible? Sorry, Anthropic. Oh, compared to our previous model, Mythos gets dramatically higher scores on tests of software coding, academic reasoning, and cybersecurity, amongst others. Interesting. Wait, so did they make an official announcement? After being contacted by Fortune, the company acknowledged that it is developing and testing the early access customers a new model. Interesting. I feel like it's a super beta early access. I'm excited to start testing things as a max plan before everyone else gets it, but I don't think we have access to that yet. Yeah. I was going to say it's been down for a few hours. Pain. Annoying if they're limiting their 5-hour window, but can't keep the service up. It's got to be something else, right? I don't know. They're just so vague as well. Like, listen, ChatGPT and OpenAI may have their flaws, but at least they're transparent and they explain things. Anthropic, on the other hand, doesn't explain things the way OpenAI will explain things when outages occur or issues happen or vulnerabilities occur on like what happened, how they fixed it, etc. Anthropic usually doesn't communicate that, which, you know, it's a bummer. It's a real bummer. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, we're working as we go here. So, you know, we're fine tuning things as we go. I think for now, next week, we're going to keep the same time to finish off the boot camp and then any bonus episodes we do. But, you know, it's going to be something that I consider after a few weeks of using Claude within the peak hours to see how it affects my account and my usage. Yeah. It's possible. It's possible. Let's go check out Boring Marketer. I haven't watched his posts in a while, but I do love his content. Please tell me this is why Claude is down it. Capybara. Bigger than Opus. Oh. Interesting. It is very expensive for us to serve and will be very expensive for, let's make this text larger for you guys here. Very expensive for our customers to use. We're working to make the model much more efficient before any general release. For those reasons, we're taking a slower, more gradual approach to releasing Mythos than we have with our other models. We're beginning with a small number of early access customers who will explore the model's cybersecurity applications and report back what they find. Okay. Ooh, that's just too big. Pre-release safety testing, as with all of our models, we have tested Claude Mythos on a variety of different safety and capability evaluations in the coming weeks. All right. Should be a fun April. Should be a fun April. Man, that's a bummer. Give it another chance here. We're just going to bang our heads against the brick wall, so to speak. Was it? It's not my primary. I use it for streams and videos because in post-production, I don't have to manually add in this, this highlighter border, as you can see here. That's literally the only reason I use it. That is the only reason and use case I use it for is this highlighter border around the window. Yeah. Okay. It's likely priced similarly to like, why didn't you add 3.1 flashlight? Like, come on, I want to compare. Let me give you yeah, but normally I use Tosco. I use Brave primarily. I also use Google Chrome a little bit, but I'm a big Brave guy. But strictly, Arc browser is only for streams and videos. Outside of that, I don't use it. Yo, what's up, Sharma? Welcome back. How you doing today? Happy Friday. Hope all is well. What are you building? What did you build this week? And what are you building this weekend? Or are you going to touch some grass? I'm going to do a little bit of both. I'm going to touch some grass and deploy our new website and work on a few other things over the weekend. Let's see. That's right. I was going to manage billing accounts. All right. Let's create a separate billing account. Grab ClearMud.ai. Create account. We're going to call this one products United States billing. FPS highlights, welcome. How you doing today? We got a comedian in the chat. That's brilliant. Great use of stringing those words together. I love it. Okay. Okay. Apparently, you know, I guess one thing I could do, this reduces the cost by 50% if I move both prompt browser and clock down. I'm curious to see, you know, how it will affect the output, the quality of output on those tools. I think I'll use it for one full month and then we'll reevaluate. So I think I'll reevaluate sometime in the middle of April. Yeah, sometime in the middle of April. All right, let me finish setting up this separate billing account for products. I suppose I can set up billing on that new account. Okay, nice. That was an easy swap. So it's in the right organization. Yeah, when I first started using the Google Cloud Console, Claude Code taught me, essentially. It taught me what to do, how to set things up, but I would set things up all in one organization and one kind of like project, and then create separate APIs per project. But that's not the best way to organize things. So now we're actually setting things up properly here. You think we should do some tests real time, move this over to 2.5 and see how helpful it is? I'm kind of leaning that direction. Yeah, 2.5 more expensive and 3.7. Okay. We're going to swap it. And remove the fallback as well. I want to operate on the leanest model possible, and we'll do some testing. Then commit to git merge to main, please. So first off, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. I want to be thoughtful about this approach because I don't want people to think I'm endorsing something. So I think the best way for me to review something, tag me on Twitter first, right? Tag me on Twitter first. I'm not going to pull it up on screen. Maybe we do live streams where it's for the community. I check out your project, right? The issue is I don't want to just blindly endorse or show things and then have, listen, maybe you have good intentions, maybe you don't. But if you're trying to exploit people, then that puts me behind it, right? Then that puts my face on it. So I need to be thoughtful about that approach. But I love the idea that you initially built the project just for yourself and some college friends. That's usually how some great ideas start. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to pull it up on screen here, but this gives me some ideas on maybe we do a community focused episode where it's like, let me check out your projects. Let me check out what you're working on. And then we can put some clear disclaimers on screen. Like, I am not endorsing any of this. This is all, submitted by the community, right? I think that's a great idea, but tag me on Twitter and then I'll check it out on my spare time. Okay. Thanks for being here. What's up, Ryan? Yeah, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I want to be very thoughtful about the approach, and I'd personally love to think that 9 out of 10 people have good intentions, but there's always that 1/10 that don't, Humor me this. If you were hypothetical to allowing an agent to browse Instagram, how would you do it? How would you actually get the video into the LLM? So, thinking from OpenClaw specifically, one way to do it is to give it browser access, right? Not headless. I guess you could do headless, but give it browser access, whether you use the browser relay or whether you have your OpenClaw agent open up its own profile that it has access to. Log into your Instagram and your agent should be able to navigate it. Now, if Instagram or Meta has certain blockers, bot, detection systems, it can detect how the cursor and things are being clicked and moved around and detect that a bot is accessing your account and then restrict it. That would be my first approach, is to, in my particular scenario, right? Like my particular environment is I have these sandboxed VMs. So I would specify to my OpenClaw agent first and foremost, hey, open up that, open up your own browser profile that you control. I'm going to log into my Instagram for you, or whatever Instagram company, Instagram brand, Instagram, and then test it, tell it to do X, Y, and Z, right? Hey, I appreciate it. Listen, I want to be thoughtful, right? The more we grow, the more that's going to appear. And while I love showing off what the community is building, I'm also, I think this is the first time I've seen FPS in chat. So it's one of those things where I do want to be mindful, of everybody else. I also, lived through many crypto bull and bear markets, and with that comes a lot of different attention, a lot of different people. And I know this has nothing related to do with crypto, but I've seen it time and time again. Also, I think you need awareness of what you're opening from a YouTube standpoint. Yeah. Hey, listen, FPS, maybe, like I said, maybe we do a community focused thing, but right now I'm not going to just blindly open things. I have a full schedule. This is not my full-time thing. I would love to make this my full-time thing. When this channel starts paying me, then I'll make it a full-time thing. But I still, work 80, 100-hour weeks combined between this channel and client work. So, realistically, having the time to test your tool on my spare time when I have a long list of things to test is I'm just being completely blunt and honest with you here. But like I said, tag me on Twitter. That's the best way for me to keep eyes on new products or whatever it is that you're behind, and I'll look at it in my spare time and give you my honest feedback on Twitter. I think that's the best approach there. So thank you for being here, first and foremost. I really do appreciate the comments, and I hope you understand my perspective and my stance on that at this moment. But I'm going to have, hey, Muddy, when you transcribe this live stream, I want you to add something to our PM board. A particular live stream where it's show me your product. And we just put a disclaimer on screen, right? We set the stage, we set the tone for that live stream, and we just open projects, open web apps in a sandboxed VM. I think this is a great idea. So Muddy, please take note, add this to the PM board, and heck, have a meeting with the team about it. You guys see how I'm doing this now as well? Is I have Muddy, when he's doing the live stream transcripts for me, 48 hours, it's all automated 48 hours after a live stream. I have him scan for any notes of me talking to him to add things to the PM board. It's a fun little trick I've been doing. Also, Anthropic is down, so it wouldn't work anyway. All right, let's go ahead and test Clawcrib, shall we? Hey, still a very detailed response here. Okay. So one thing I noticed we have to change. All right. Now we also have to change when you first click on help. It says powered by Gemini 3.1. I just say powered by Gemini so that no matter what Gemini model we swap between, that statement is true. So anywhere in this ClawCrib web app that says powered by Gemini and a specific model, you know, on the front end, just label it as powered by Gemini, please. Once you're done, commit to git, merge to main. There we go. Voila. All right. Let's actually go and check as well. Oh my goodness. I need to have my agent make sure it cleans all this stuff up. Look at all these tabs. And I'm getting device memory errors. My goodness gracious. Sheesh. That is wild. What is this? Whoa. Whoa, Muddy. What you doing here? We can allow. 8 hours ago. What time was that? That was some automations running. Okay. Let's close this. Let's go into Vercel real quick. Because Muddy controls this Vercel account that hosts ClawCrib. Yeah, wow. This is incredibly, it feels noticeably slower. I'm going to have to do some maintenance on this weekend. For sure. Wow. I don't like this. Deployments. Oh, it looks like it didn't push to production. That is ClawCrib's project, right? Hey, I just checked our Vercel hosting for this web app, and it looks like the last commit, or the last deployment rather, was yesterday by another one of our OC agents. What's going on here? I use VMware Fusion personally. Now, you can use VirtualBox too. It's a great open source. VMware Fusion now is free. You just have to jump through a few hoops with signing up with a free Broadcom account because they acquired VMware. But, you know, one positive in that negative, so to speak, of a big corporation acquiring VMware is VMware Fusion and Workstation Pro for Windows and Mac, respectively, used to cost money, right? They weren't always free. Now they are free. That is, I love that. Yeah, didn't I ask you to push them? Right? Chat, didn't I ask? What is going on here? Don't just tell me sorry about that, Claude. What are you doing? No, I am on Opus. I remember. I don't use any other models. What the heck? Okay, here we go. Now clearly it's building out. Wonderful. Yeah. Lots of issues. Let's go take a look. Yep, another error. So sadly, that's a bummer. It's working here in the CLI, but every time I try to call YouTube script command, it is having issues. Okay, that's live. Powered by Gemini. I'm just gonna prompt it simple stuff. Man, I really hope they reward us with something, right? Because you're not alone. I know a lot of people in chat are having the same exact issue. Okay, interesting. Device identity pairing. I'm just feeding random errors to it to see what happens. Interesting. These responses, it feels like it's less, right? The reasoning is not the same. That's a bummer. If anybody's been using this help feature and you run into issues, let me know the comparison that you see between 3.1 and 2.5. Oh, okay. Looks like I was too strict with the rate limiting there. I know, right? That's a bummer. Now I'm curious to see. I haven't tested this personally. Once you hit rate limiting, does it automatically answer the question for you after this hold, or do we have to ask it again? Let's see. Yeah, because I think to help with bots, we did like, I think 3 per minute. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Which I think should be okay. But I already know, like, if I were to say this and this, it would have fed us a whole bunch more information rather than asking us more questions with 3.1 versus 2.5. All right, so it looks like it's not automatically feeding us the response to that, so we just have to... Oh, actually, now it is actually looking more like a 3.1 flashlight. It's just trying to get as much context as possible before it feeds you an answer. Interesting, interesting. Okay. What are you talking about? Oh, are you talking about YouTube monetization? Yeah, I mean, they be doing that. Watch, now that you said something, it's probably going to happen any minute. It's probably going to happen any minute. Okay. Yeah, I suppose anybody watching this who's been using ClawCrib, like genuinely using it for help, just compare. Next time you run into an issue, prompt it and let me know if it's still giving you quality answers or if it's dumber, right? I think that the fact that it's based off of 2 sources, it can't hallucinate, right? It's not reliant on the independent model, like up to date, like, like the reference of like context of like, okay, it knows everything up until this day, right? Because we only have this help feature feeding off of the docs.openclaw.ai, as well as the, oh, you're talking about the ad roll, the 30-second timeout ad roll. That's hella funny. Who knows? Maybe we do that. Maybe I reach out to OpenAI, say, hey, I built this really cool tool for this open source project you just acquired. Would you like to put in ad rolls on these rate limiting? Oh, that'd be funny. That would be funny. That would be so funny. Awesome. Hey, I'm happy to hear it. Yeah, let me know. I'll also blame you if it breaks my OC. No. I got to put a disclaimer here. Please use it at your own risk. Thank you, Ranglatang. I know you're probably just joking, but also that is very smart to do. So I realized we never created a kind of like a legal page for this, terms and conditions, terms of use type thing, or privacy policy and terms of use. So let's go ahead and create some 2 of those, right? Put them in the footer. Additionally, we should have a disclaimer on the help feature saying by using this tool, you agree to the terms of use and the privacy policy. And then in the terms of use, right? Please use at your own risk. ClearMud LLC is not responsible for et cetera, X, Y, and Z, anything that could go wrong, right? This is meant to serve as a chatbot that feeds off of 2 sources that gives you answers that help you troubleshoot your issues. So I want you to put your big legal thinking hat on and create a legally sound terms of use and privacy policy for clawcrib.com, please. Yeah, but no, you helped me realize something that is critical for this. It's a free tool, it's in beta, but we do need a terms of use. We do need a privacy policy, and we need to specify these things. So I would have discovered this on my own with time, right? But thanks to you, you're helping me kind of like get ahead of it, right? So thank you. But we're using Gemini to power it because we're not made of money. I mean, I'll switch to ChatGPT if they sponsor, if they want to sponsor this tool for sure. But this tool is still very much in beta. So that's why we're using this the cheapest possible model. Because I'm not sure if you were here at the beginning, Ryan, but it is already costing us about 35 bucks a week. So that's something that is okay for the first month. But listen, for a completely free tool where I'm not making any money off the tool nor the channel yet, it's like, I'm not going to continue paying out of pocket to keep it running. So I'm going to have to think strategically about like moving forward, what we do, how we do it, right? With these types of tools. I'm not Peter Rich, okay? The founder of OpenClaw. So, or the creator of OpenClaw rather. Yeah, very good point. Derek's got a good point. I know you're joking, Ranglatang, but someone else won't. You know, it reminds me of, I think that it's still an issue. There's such thing as patent trolls. People who will purposefully try to create a patent just to sue people who don't think of it first, right? Sue products, sue companies. It's a career for some people, you know? So. Right? And this is what vibing is all about. Discovering what you need to do, discover a problem, discover a need for the web app, and just building it real time. And that's what we're doing here. So thank you, Ranglatang. And also through me doing this, you're also learning as well. Like whenever you deploy something, these types of things are critical to think of ahead of time before you start accepting payments. All right, I didn't get specific. I just said, do it for me. So let's see how this looks. And then once I have my legal and finance OC agent deployed, I'm going to have him review literally all of my terms of service, everything, right? Just to protect ClearMud as a whole. But that's, you know, a few weeks in the works. Yeah. Can't thank you enough. Do a hard refresh. Go check the footer. Let's see. Looks like it's not there yet. Should be, but it's not. Oh, it bricked it? Okay. Let's see. Okay, it's at the very bottom. I was blind. Nice. Yeah, the only thing I don't like in the terms is the fact that you offer a $50 payment. We should not offer any of that, period. End of discussion, right? This is a completely free tool right now. So I want you to pull that limitation of liability, $50 cap. It's a $0 cap. Explain why you included that and if that's necessary. What's up, Dogstar? Welcome to the coffee crew. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate you. Thank you. I will have an espresso in your name. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, perfect. Now in the meantime, let's go check the disclaimer here. By using this tool, you agree to the terms of use and the privacy policy. Wonderful, wonderful. I feel like that could be a little bit better. But that's okay for now. That's good enough for now. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate this. I'm happy to hear you're finding value in that boot camp. I've been having a blast doing it. It's my first of many. It's definitely been a learning experience. I think we planned it pretty well, but we also did plan it on these live streams leading up to it, which was fun. But yeah, I'm not sure if you caught any part of the last episode. We do have some bonus episodes coming out after the fact where we recap the entire boot camp for anybody who just wants a summary. And just to do an extra episode or two, because why not? Because I feel like 5 just isn't enough. After episode 5, I'm going to start using Goat OS every day. So once I start using Goat OS every day, right now I only work on it during those live streams because I do not want to try to mislead anybody and do work behind the scenes. I want to do all the work live. So it really leaves a 7-day gap of doing nothing, right? But once I start using it every single day, once the boot camp's complete, then I can create certain, live streams after the fact of okay, now I'm using it every day for X, Y, and Z use case, right? Here's what I've learned. Here's things that broke. Here's how I fixed them, right? So that we bring even more value after the boot camp. So I think we'll just add it to the playlist as a bonus episode, boot camp recap, boot camp, et cetera, et cetera. I'll come up with different ideas. But, I think the next one is going to be, I don't want to tease it too much. It's going to be one of two things. It's going to be how to automate Meta and Google paid ads from start to finish, right? For your existing client base versus, I don't want to tease the other one yet, but I'm kind of leaning towards an automation around how to automate that side of it. However, I do know that Meta is putting blockers on OC agents autonomously working within those ad libraries. So I need to test it first. If you guys have any ideas for any particular use cases for future OpenClaw boot camps, I'm all ears. Just let me know. What's up, Whoosh? Welcome. How you doing today? Also, happy Friday. Can't thank you enough again for the membership. Really do appreciate it. How was your week and what are you doing this weekend? Same with you, Whoosh. I want to know. Me personally, fixing my sleep schedule, deploying our new website so that our resources are live. And then I'm going to touch some grass, go do some photography, go to the farm, go explore the land as the flowers start to bloom and see how things look. Oh, is it now? Is it now? Do a hard refresh on this. I still don't see it. Where do you see the green? Oh, you see it up here. Okay. Okay. Listen. Let's try running this again, shall we? Okay. Now let's go back and look at Clock Crib. Let's move that to do. We can close that, close that. Yeah, I also think so. One thing you'll notice is lately I've just had so much going on. I haven't been my 24-hour post video automation where it creates a Substack draft. It requires me to go in and approve it. I think I'm just going to blindly start accepting that because it's just a way to provide backlinks to the YouTube videos to drive traffic to YouTube because YouTube is like my central focus. But you'll notice today I just I didn't force, it was in my drafts. And in about 2 hours, yesterday's video will be automatically drafted in Substack as well. But I just went ahead and pushed Tuesday's video Substack post live because I realized like I'm tired of being the blocker. I'm happy with the output. I also took a lot of time over last weekend to improve on. Oh, I already closed that tab. To improve on ClearMud OS, which controls a lot of different / commands within, my content creation kind of like suite of tools. Particularly the video to social, right? Where it automatically 24 hours after a long form video gets posted, it runs through a certain command that then generates output for X, LinkedIn, Substack, a blog post for the website. Looks like the research is not being connected properly, but interesting. Are we at 8K already? I think this rounds up. That's wild. 7.99. Let's go. My goodness. I knew we were going to get here at some point. I didn't think it was going to be so soon, to be honest with you. Yeah, the big green bar at the top. I gotcha. We're about to find out here. Let's go back to YouTube script. It is still thinking, but it hasn't errored out, which is a good sign. So let's just patiently await this. And let me just go double check these terms. Ooh, it looks like one other thing I'm noticing. Explain why in build and help there's no footer. Shouldn't there be a footer? Or is that more from a UX perspective? Additionally, in learn as well, there's no footer. But in feedback and browse, there are a footer. Explain why. Push back. Don't just fix it. Don't just blindly kind of like do X because I say Y, right? But explain the theory behind it, or maybe it just slipped through the cracks and you forgot to add the footer to those pages. Being able to watch your thought process in real time is a learning experience everyone new to vibe coding should go through. You provide it for free. You did a good job, man. Thank you. I appreciate you. And that's exactly why I wanted to kind of take that approach and not do a boot camp with post-production where I clear out all the empty space. I remove the ums or the thought or this or that and like cater to like short, I don't want to say squirrel brains, but YouTube long forms, the first 30 seconds, if you put too much empty space, right, in the thought, it's like you lose a lot of viewers. People will just click away. They want to see that back to back to back to back. So the boot camp, though, is different. You get to see me just naturally work through it. And then when an issue arises, we address it real time. You see how I talk to OC and my OC agents in general. So that's exactly like, I love that you picked that out because that's exactly what I wanted people to get out of. And I've already seen countless comments saying, you don't need to watch the boot camp, just have your OC agent summarize it. Hey, great. Good for you if you're doing that. Keep in mind, when you post saying that this boot camp doesn't work and that was your approach to summarizing it, well, that explains why it's not working for you. Because you're not taking the time to watch the entire boot camp. The raw output of me discovering a problem, fixing it, me communicating with it, me vibing back and forth to get something working, right? Because an OC agent or any model that downloads a transcript to analyze the summary won't show you all of those steps. It will just summarize everything. So I tip my hat off to you if you're getting away with not watching the boot camp and just transcribing it, but I guarantee you're going to run into issues. You're going to blame the boot camp when really you should be blaming your process of summarizing it. And I don't mean to be rude with that, but That's my response to anybody saying, don't watch the boot camp, just have AI summarize it. Don't blame me if it doesn't work. You know? It's intentional. Okay. The footer is explicitly hidden from builder and help. The reasoning is UX. Both are immersive. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. And I'm okay with it. Now, learn, though, isn't that in that block list. Okay. Yeah. I think we should close that gap, but also add the footer to the learn section, I think, right? Because I think the chat features for UX purposes shouldn't have it, but I think the learn should. Well, oh no, the learn does. Never mind. Scratch that. It does. You're good there. Just close that gap you mentioned. Excuse me. Wow. That burp just came up. I hope you didn't hear that. All right, let's go back to that script. No, it is still running into issues. Just overloaded at the moment. Interesting. I don't remember setting this, so I'm going to prompt this with muddy. Whoops. Hey, Muddy, I'm trying to do some ideation right now in ClearMud OS with the YouTube script tab, and I'm running into a consistent error. Now, the status on Claude is kind of intermittent, hit or miss. It's had some downtime today, but I am working out of Claude code in the CLI, and I'm getting this specific error. I want you to look into this. I see that there's a Gemini 3.1 Pro preview fallback for this command when there shouldn't be. It should only use Opus 4.6, and if Opus 4.6 doesn't work at turn 1, right, then we just wait. Let me know what you find. And I'm just going to paste that into Muddy, let him get to work. Let's make sure he starts responding as well. And I got to say, I'm not sure if you watched that episode on how to automate your multi-agent team, but I talk about this, my watchdog. It helps fix anything that slips through the cracks. It is critical. It's a time saver. I didn't have to get frustrated with my agent after not seeing the daily executive sync transcript, right? It went ahead and re-triggered it for me, which is awesome. But it looks like there is some issues with Claude right now. Interesting. I mean, at this point, we're at the mercy of Anthropic, which I hate. I hate being at the mercy of one model. That's a bummer. Wait. Now, remove learn isn't in the block list. If it isn't blocked on learn, it should render. Yeah, I already told you that. So it says all systems operational, but I still see a red mark here. So it's kind of like, I always look at this chart here. I don't necessarily look at this banner because they could come out in 30 minutes and say more issues. So we'll wait and see here. Take the wait and see approach. Been messing around with your prompts, but at the moment focused on, why is that cut off? WP management through OpenClaw? Nice. Soon, couple beers and a free Friday evening. Very nice. Well, I hope you enjoy. Hope you enjoy that evening. Those beers. And let's change directory. Let me finish that billing account as well for Google Cloud. Can't show this part on screen, sorry. No, Muddy is working. Hold on. Got my weekly review here through Telegram session. Oh, I can see here intermittent issues with the overload error. Damn. That's a bummer. Come on now. Come on now. How do we get on that Claude for government? It looks so solid. Yep. That's wild. All right. Whew, that triple shot espresso is catching up to me. Although, I might need to go take another real quick, actually, if I'm being honest. All right, so that's live. Let's do a hard refresh. That's solid by using this tool. Yeah, so the placement of the disclaimer in help and build are different, right? I think if you're going to place it anywhere in help, it should be similar to build. It should be below or type your own request below line. And in help's case, it would be or describe your issue below. Maybe we should move that line down there. Aside from that, let's just go review it real quick. We're going to have to create this. So change it to team at ClearMud.ai for now, and then we'll add a new legal mailbox at some point as we grow. But that's my only notes on the terms. The same with privacy. Any request should just go to team. Okay. I've only ever used Anthropic for this sort of building. What are the alternatives to any other models compared to Opus, creative coding, OC main? You know, Gemini 3.1, I don't want to say it's comparable to Opus. It's great for visual 3D builds, front-end builds. I would still work on any project I initially build with Gemini 3.1 Pro with Opus 4.6. Codex 5.4 is also pretty good. I don't think it has any outages right now. But when it comes to like operating as an agent, an OC agent, Opus has been by far my favorite. It also blows my mind how amazing AI can do something and then the simplest thing like place. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is also kind of like my fault for not being that specific. I just said I want X, Y, and Z, please do it. So it's going to do it in whatever fashion it thinks is best. Now, if I come to it with, place it here, like a specific PRD with the implementation, it should accurately do everything. But we're still in the very early stages of this stuff. Like as time progresses, as these models get more intelligent, as they have more data to improve off of, they're going to make less mistakes and give you that final output a lot more seamlessly. But that's definitely, I think through my fault of not being that specific, right? We're just vibing. I mean, that's the whole definition of vibe coding is just vibe vibe through the process. You don't need to have a detailed plan in order. Does it still work? Oh, it's waiting on my approval for something. That's why. Okay. Hey, I want you to go look into clawcrib.com, more specifically the terms and privacy policy. That's another tool that we built. I want to create a similar structure for promptbrowser.net. It is a free tool, but I just want to start thinking ahead legally and also for the privacy policy as well. Also, I believe we were working on OAuth, but we kind of paused. Where do we stand with OAuth integration for this project? Okay. And then give me 1 second, chat. I do have to take a quick bio break. I'm going to make one single espresso. So give me 3 minutes. All right. Nice chill Friday. I just set up OAuth for my site and it had some errors now. It's working, but just brings me back to signing up over and over again. Been trying to fix for over an hour now. Frustrating. So you got it fixed though, right? Need to learn how you get a prototype app on your machine into hosting, then track usage and cost to run, etc. So give me a little bit more context here. I'm gonna try to answer it with what I think you're asking. So you're asking, let's say you vibe coded a prototype that's hosted locally. Well, step one is determine, is this a free tool or is it gonna be paid, right? Step two, determine your hosting, right? And then let's say you do it on Vercel, your free hobby account, if it is a Next.js and React native app. Alternatively, you can use Netlify, I think Netlify, or Railway, depending on if you need that Docker style environment. So it's like you nail down where you're gonna host it, then you get it hosted, then you need to decide if you're gonna pay for a custom domain or not, right? So that will kind of like, add some costs there. And then you determine what API you're going to use. There's ways to monitor your billing with Gemini API with different billing accounts and different projects. But if you're using Claude or ChatGPT, there's ways to create separate projects with unique API keys tied in with that project so that you can monitor how much it's costing you to operate, right? Is this what you're talking about? Just like the full taking a prototype and deploying it from start to finish? Because there's a lot of moving pieces that you have to think about. Yes, you can get away with most free hosting accounts, right? Especially with new ideas. But once you start to gain significant traction, you do need to start looking at monthly overhead for hosting, right? And then you have more monthly overhead for your API usage, right? Okay, perfect. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then you also have to think about, is this going to need a custom domain? Or maybe you have one domain that you just want to create subdomains off of. So then you can co-locate them all off the same domain. So like app number 1.yourdomain.com or .ai or whatever, for example, right? That way it's underneath your kind of like main domain. So these are things to think about with hosting something and deploying something. It's like there's these little things that add up. But then, creating separate API keys, not only separate API keys, but separate projects within your API dashboard for Anthropic or OpenAI or Gemini. And there's ways to separate them to where you can see how much that particular key is costing you in that project per month. But as far as like content that teaches you how from start to finish, I don't know if anybody's created a video that does that. I did have the idea, right? We're never going to do a boot camp course or anything like that here, but it's not to say we won't ever do some type of paid community where I walk you from start to finish deploying an app and getting it, public facing. That's something that could be unique that my agents recommended that we look into as we grow more and more. But I'm like, I really want that video to be public. So it's like, I'm being very thoughtful about that approach. But off the top of my head, I can't say that there's like a master class on how to deploy your web app from start to finish that actually works. I'm sure it exists out there, and maybe that's something I add to my queue. I wish I can add videos to my queue right now, but we're just kind of let's just try the ideation side. I'm just going to type in OpenClaw. Yeah, we're having a specific gateway issue here. Huh? Interesting. I'm going to have to troubleshoot this off air. Looks like I'm going to have a fun Infra Saturday tomorrow. That's for sure. That is for sure. Okay, updated the team. Yeah, and with some, hey, happy to hear that. Yeah, listen, it's an idea I'm flirting with. I'm gonna, as you've learned here, I'm gonna be very thoughtful about that approach. I'm just not gonna rush into it. I think it makes more sense to do that once I'm already supporting myself off of this channel, right? I don't want that to be the reason I'm able to support myself off this channel. I'd rather do that organically first. But I think there's a lot of value in having a group of people who come together and get access, and I walk you through. And then also anybody else in the group can also watch and learn, right? I think there's real value there, right? But like thinking from the perspective of making that a free live stream, it's like, how would we do that? Because chances are we'll be exposing API keys. Chances are we'll be exposing private information that that particular individual who we're walking through with doesn't want exposed, right? So like there's that approach as well. There's also the approach of like taking it like an Alex Hormozy approach where you live stream the content, but then the people who are in the group and ask the questions and get the answers and get that one-on-one assistance are like through the community, right? Through that monthly sign up. So I'm going to think a lot more thoughtfully about this, in the coming weeks and months. But it's on my mind. It's on my mind for sure. But as I mentioned, I don't want that to be the reason I'm supporting myself. I want to be able to do that first and foremost from the channel, from the brand, and then have that be like a cherry on top. That way I'm not dependent on that. Yeah. Just thinking raw thoughts here. Let's see. Why did Claude just open that up? Okay. Let me look at Claude Crib's legal pages and check the OAuth statuses in parallel. So let's just auto accepts on. We're done there. Oh, wow. Looks like somebody ran a very, very old video of ours. That's hilarious. Just doing some work real time in the browser. I'm also just noticing it has this like grid effect on the background, which I think is pretty cool. Wow. Didn't notice that until now. So now I can go create a new API key under prompt browser. I'll do this part off air so I don't expose it. Library. Actually, I can go do this real time on Vercel's variables here for that production site. Let's go there. settings, variables. What's interesting is, I guess that's on Convex's end. Transcript API key. Okay, that's separate. I don't see a Gemini API key here, so I'm assuming. Interesting. Let's go take a look real quick. Ah, okay. Okay. That's perfect. I'm actually creating a completely new project right now, so I'm going to have to create new OAuth credentials in this Google Cloud project. Production settings, variables. There's the Gemini key. Okay. So I need to go in. Credentials, new key. Should call this one prod. Restrict key. We want to do YouTube data version 3. And then we also want to do generative. Oh, it looks like it's not. Restrict this to prompt browser as well. Edit. Redeploy. Gemini API here, enable. Delete that old key. So we're going to restrict it to that domain only. So we'll do HTTPS prompt browser.net. And then www.promptbrowser.net. And then generative language API, save. So now in theory, it should be working. Let's give it a moment. And then let me also move ClawCrib over to that products-based billing account. And then let's go to ClearMud, delete the existing API key so it doesn't conflict. Yeah, go ahead and create that, and then we'll handle OAuth after the fact. All right, there is prompt browser version 3 API key. Let's delete that. delete. I'd assume in the near future, a lot of the wiring mess of agentic systems will be abstracted or simplified, yet like the early days of networking, hands-on experience in early stages is priceless. Yeah, I agree with you right here, 110%. I feel like as this becomes more retail friendly, yes, we're still very much in the early stages of this, and I think we will be for the next year. That's maybe me being optimistic. It might take longer, it might take less, right? Like, you got to realize, like, if you're here, I think you're ahead of retail. When I think of retail, I think of the average person who doesn't even know the term vibe code exists, who doesn't even know what they can do with these LLMs, who only know of ChatGPT as asking it questions like it's Google circa 2000, right? Or 2003 or whatever. Once retail signs on, right, it needs to be simplified and it needs to work. Right now, it's not that simple. It is simple for most of us, but it requires some tinkering. It requires some back and forth, some fine tuning. So, yeah, I think we were very much in the early stages of that, but I think, you know, in the near future, whether that's months or years or less than, like, it's right around the corner for sure. I couldn't agree more. It's a very good observation. Nah. Commit to Git. Merge to main. Yeah, it's very hard to predict it because, like, going back to it, I think retail is like that metric that's going to allow us to predict it a little bit more accurately. But it's like the average person is not going to know what to do nor trust technology. So I think we're still a long ways away from retail coming in and deploying their own, like, Lovable and Replit and Bolt, those types of vibe coding all-in-one suites are geared towards more retailed focused individuals. But one thing I've been noticing is people who enter vibe coding through that route end up leaving those platforms and learning how to do it themselves. Most do, not all. I think they serve a specific use case, but Ryan, 100%, it's very hard to predict, right? That's why it's like, I doubt it's a week. I doubt it's a day. I think we're a year or two in the making. But the fact that you're here now, I think we're just ahead of, 99%. And maybe I'm wrong with that number. That's just my belief. Yeah, sometimes we spend so much time in a circle, but it's so true. Many have no idea. Yeah. Local businesses just started realizing that ChatGPT can do things for their work. Yep. Every restaurant on Facebook uses ChatGPT. It's the same setup, same emojis, same generic images. When they realize what's beyond that, the opportunities is endless. The opportunity is endless. Yeah. Finally took the first step in UI building. Can't believe I waited this long. Holly is working on the floating chat bubble. Nice. Let's go. I'm shocked I waited that long to make that video. That video had been in my queue. I made that master prompt weeks ago, but I just didn't think anybody would like that video. But after when doing it Wednesday on Goat OS Live, I was like, okay, we need to make a video about this immediately. Great job. This is awesome. I can't wait to see screenshots of Holly OS, if that's what you're calling it, or maybe Holly's just your agent, your OS, and then, what it's doing. I'm very excited to see when you're ready to share, of course, no rush. Now you won't stop. Okay. I think the homepage, hopefully they don't add it to the homepage. I still want the homepage to be nice and clean, rather the landing page. I'm gonna go check Vercel. Should not have additional property node version. Please remove it. Interesting. Oh, that's right. I'm just going to do this. I was updating the Gemini API key and I got this error on Vercel. Can you please look into this? Because I cannot redeploy that project with the new variable for prompt browser. Now, maybe its push went live, but me trying to update that API key, it fed me this error. I'm so happy to hear it. I'm happy to hear it. I had a lot of fun. You know, after recording it, it was so late in my day yesterday. I recorded it and edited it and posted it same day, which I hate doing. I like kind of working on things ahead of time and scheduling them. But it was just something I really wanted to get out there while things were fresh with the boot camp. I felt like there was a need for it. And there's one thing I forgot to do in the video, which I wish I highlighted more of, but it's okay. I think it's still a great video. And it brings value and it shows people how to do something that I don't think anybody has shown anybody how to do yet. In a step-by-step video, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Should be able to redeploy now. Don't you have to commit first? Let me go back there. Okay. So now that original ClearMud account starting April is only going to be internal ops. Great. And then I'll have to create a demos account. But prompt browser is separate. Let's go into that project. Let's copy that key one more time. Okay. Let's go into that settings, variables, and all I did was update YouTube. Edit, save, redeploy. Deployment was blocked because the commit author does not have contributing access to the project on Vercel. Interesting. It's using the wrong user here. It's using an old personal user I used to use. No, it's not. So it's ClearMud username for our GitHub account. There you go. There you go. I haven't seen it done, but my videos mostly K-pop demon hunters and sprinkle in some AI content thanks to my daughter. Let's go. Yeah. And you got to go through that, you know? Yeah, and I think it all strings together with time too. It's like it's easy to kind of get sidetracked. Heck, I know when I was first starting out with different OC setups and kind of building one, not liking it, restarting, building one, running into issues, restarting. I got to the point where it's like, okay, weekend time is back-end time. Weekday time is operations time. Today is a super light day. It's always a chill. I try to keep Fridays nice and chill. And then Monday's ideation. It's usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which, you know, we don't do much back end, if any. Unless it's like a critical fix. It's just operations in the middle of the week. All right. Redeploy. Now this should work. Perfect. View deployment. What's weird is it was working just fine with Bitmonkey Labs. Let me figure out why it's using so many different GitHub accounts from this primary Vercel hobby account. It's like I have to remove all traces of that old one. Let's see if this push works. Come on. Nope. I'm just in the zone of just feeding it screenshots, letting it figure it out on its own. Oh, what just happened? Oh. Spent my OpenAI Plus weekly limit in one day. Oh man. I'm sorry. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. One more interesting observation is how speech to text differs from typing prompts. Yeah, 110%. It's like, don't get me wrong, I still like to type things out from time to time. But for the most part, the way that my brain thinks, I like to just brain dump, whether I'm vibe coding in the CLI, whether I'm working with my agent. I find I get a better output if I just hit my keybind and speak, right? Now, this is also, understanding yourself as an individual and playing off of your strengths and weaknesses. Some people prefer typing and have, more, not more experience, but they're more effective with typing out the prompt. And I think like it can go both ways, but 110%, it's like two different states of like consciousness in a way, right? It's like typing it out, you're thinking more like critically about what you're typing. When you're talking, you're just just brain dumping all of your raw thoughts. So there's like, you definitely get two different outputs in that scenario. I appreciate that. And I'm happy to help, and my voice just cracked. Yeah, I've been a big theme of the day guy for a long time in my career. What are we, 2026? I think I really started doing theme of the days back in like 2014, back in my early startup days, because my thoughts were just all over the place client work was, you know, I was working tons of hours. I had to create some type of structure. So I kind of went through year after year, just kind of optimizing the way I approach things. And I really love the theme of the day approach. It's been pretty solid. And then each theme of the day, of course, I have certain time blocks. Yeah, I suppose. I appreciate it though, Derek. And I'm happy to inspire and help. My main OC agent is running on Linux servers, so no GUI, very different. Yeah. Using an old MacBook Pro this time. Why did that cut off part of your message? I only read half of it. I think, you know, I am going to test deploying an OC setup on an Ubuntu server distribution. You know, it is different, and I'm curious to see what the limitations I'm going to run into are. Like, obviously, the whole idea of having it control a web browser in the CLI is not possible, but it should still be able to do headless browser control in the CLI. So I'll have more to report back on that once I actually set it up and test it once I get back to California. Show the build logs, huh? I see. Okay, we need to set that. So let me pull that open on this browser here. And let me just take this off screen real quick. So I guess I can use that existing OAuth that I set up because that was for the old site. No, I actually already set this up. This is hilarious. I don't remember doing this. That's how many hours I've been just scattering all over the place. Wow. Wow, okay. Let's go ahead and add a new secret. Copy that, delete the old one. Let's go throw this in there, save. Try one more time. What is going on? So I have that URI set correctly. Adapt porpoise or porpoise. Callback Google looks good. Oh, that's what I have to do. Okay. PX convex. Google client secret. Paste that in there. Then we have to do client ID as well. Voila. Okay, I can close that tab out. We're okay. Okay, no, that's not exposing anything. It's just giving us a nice error message. Interesting. Okay. Add auth secret 1 with the same value you used for auth secret. Really? I don't like that, but okay. Let's try it. Edit, copy, add auth secret _1. Something doesn't feel right here. Yeah, something clearly isn't right here. It should just have one auth secret. So look into what's causing this, fix it. Let me know if I have to recreate a new OAuth credential in Google Cloud's console. Okay. Going to dig into it properly while we wait. Catch up on comments. Yeah, it really has. My wife no longer takes me seriously. Oh my God. I was like, you're legitimately talking to a computer. You're legitimately talking to AI. I find it hard to speak instructions, but am building that out because 90% of my work is from my truck. So this will allow me to work while driving. Foreign Holly to be prepared for gibberish. Yeah. And listen, like this is all like playing to your strengths and weaknesses. And I think maybe with time, you'll maybe get better at speaking instructions. Maybe this is just like a certain period of time where you kind of have to go through the process of the way you do things. But, you know, I think eventually you'll learn to love voice to text for sure. Yeah, Whisper Flow works great. Hey, what's up, Greek? Thank you. Are we officially at 8K? That's wild. We are officially at 8K. That's wild. Thanks to each and every one of you. That's amazing. What's up, Stonesy? 8K hype. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That was something I did on my old channel because it had monkey in the name. Do a little monkey chants. I won't do that on this channel. But my nickname is, I've had many nicknames, but Bitmonkey is one of those nicknames. I mean, as you can see on my system I'm using. I'm sure you guys have noticed. It is crazy. Like, and just to think, what, 2 months ago we were at like 400? I don't even know what we were at, to be honest. What were we at? Like, I just continue to show up every day. That will never change. I don't care what that number gets to. I'm going to keep showing up every day with the same amount of effort, the same approach, not trying to clickbait you, not trying to create overly hyped stuff that brings no value. That will never change. That reminds me of, what was it? Hangover 3? Who's watched the Hangover trilogy first? Put 1 in chat if you watched the Hangover and you know Alan. Because I won't do this if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I believe you were sub 100 for sure. I just don't remember exactly when. Okay, when Alan's at Stu's wedding. Or no, his dad's funeral. That's right. He was at his dad's funeral. I will never, ever change. Ever. Never. Like, just, I can't do it well. And then how about at Stu's wedding when he was, he's like, I can't even tell you what we've done because we made a pact. But what I can tell you is this is not Stu's first marriage. And then they like cut off the mic and get him off talking. Oh, that's such a great series. Oh. I can't really say much more because if I start reciting Hangover, we might get a strike. We might get a strike if I say some of the things from that movie series. Oh my goodness. Let's go. Interesting. So apparently that's in the dev environment. I honestly have been skipping that. We've just been YOLOing straight to production. Okay. So is that the issue? So we're going to delete. So I set the environment variables. Okay. Aren't the auth secret and the client secret the same as per your instructions? If not, please elaborate rather, and then explain. You know, we're putting this in Convex. Do we also need to put this in Vercel? Okay, let me pull this off screen to generate that secret real quick. I think that's where the confusion lies. I already manually set those though. Yeah, but you had me run npx convex set environment variable for Google Client ID and Google Client Secret, and I've already done that. I wonder, did it just not carry over to the production environment? No. I know for a fact we selected adept porpoise to do that. Let me just do a hard refresh on that page. I still don't see those secrets. Interesting. Let's go to development. Oh, wow. They're in development. Gotcha. So you've already generated these secrets. Can't you just clone all of these secrets over to production? I shouldn't have to do this line by line. That's pretty tedious, don't you think? There has to be a more efficient route of mirroring these secrets into production. Okay, it didn't expose anything, so I can bring it back. Hopefully it doesn't just outright expose something right now. You son of a... All right, cool. You just exposed everything on stream, so let's regenerate all secrets. I'm gonna go ahead and regenerate them all right now because I should have kept you off screen. That's my bad. Stand by. All right, stream. I mean, don't bother using those because I'm already deleting them, but that is hilarious. Oh, that is hilarious. Literally, my concern, bam, it happens. Son of a... Oh, that cracks me up. All right. We're going to call this key production. Limit to website. Prompt browser. Yeah, sorry, chat. I can't obviously show everything on screen for something that's in production. So let me just get through all this and then we'll get back on stream. Let's also add www.promptbrowser. Restrict API. That's YouTube data. And then generative language, I believe. Yeah, generative language API. Create. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I'm just laughing at myself at this point right now. Copy. Oh, excuse me. YouTube. Let's edit that. So if we were to go and test right now, I'm sure it would not work. We'll test in a second. Let's go ahead and change that Gemini API key as well. Where is it? Gemini API key. Save. Although I do eventually want to do separate API keys per staging and per production. Once this app grows, but we're okay for now, kind of co-locating the two. And then we need to do the Google secret as well. OAuth client ID. Hey, thanks. Garuda, welcome. Thanks for being here. Today, we're just vibe coding. Right now, we're incorporating OAuth into this free tool that allows you to paste in a YouTube video and get actionable prompts pulled from the transcript. It's still very much in beta, right? But it is a free tool. We're just kind of optimizing it. We were also optimizing this other free tool that we launched here called ClawCrib. They're both still very much in beta. And we're just vibing. We're just vibing. Hey, BitMonkey memories. Yep. I wish my Claude did exactly what I asked it not to do. Don't why. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? All right, so we need a web application. We're gonna call this prompt. We'll just call this prompt browser.net. And authorization redirects. Which one is it? I'm almost done regenerating everything. Please give me the authorized redirect for Convex. I don't feel like looking for it. There it is. Great. All right. Client ID. Edit. paste, and then client secret. Paste, voila. All right, I updated those variables in production because we will eventually have different variables for staging, development. Do we need to update that auth secret as well? Yeah. It's, I'm more concerned, right? Like about, we're streaming, we're live. So when I show it on screen, all it takes is one screenshot, right? So I have to immediately delete those secrets. It's just really annoying. That's why it's like, it's tough actually vibe coding production stuff, right? It's one thing to vibe code demo data and demo API keys, right? You don't mind exposing those, but when you're actually working on something that's live, you have to be very thoughtful about what you show on screen. And then, there's also the negative with that. It's like, then it's perceived as you're not actually vibe coding in public. Well, you can't show every single detail in public in a production environment, right? So, yeah, it's finding that balance, right? Yeah, prompt browser is for anybody who doesn't want to watch an entire YouTube video to get prompts from it, or wants to see how, it's still improving, right? As I mentioned, it's in beta, so we're improving the logic from week to week. But what it tries to do is first it detects, is it an AI focused video that gives you actionable advice or prompts to build your own X, Y, and Z? And then you essentially paste in the URL. It goes through its logic of determining whether it's qualified as a video that it can extract from. It downloads the YouTube transcript. It runs through certain logic that we defined, and then it gives you prompts that you can use to copy paste. I originally built it as a tool. This is the second version of it. Mind you, I started this back in August. The original idea was X'd. And then I thought of this simple approach of like just paste URL, get prompts. I originally did it for ClearMud, right? So you can go through all of our videos and try to get actionable prompts from the video. And then it shows you where in the video it's timestamped. And then you can click on that. And then it shows you what part of that YouTube video it pulled that prompt from. So it's just a fun way to summarize YouTube content without having to watch it, to pull prompts that you can use for your own environment or your own AI agent or your own project that you're building, right? But then alternatively, like you can also go and post anything AI related and it'll extract prompts for you. So these are things from the community that they're posting, trying to get, prompts pulled from. So that's who it's for. That's what it's for. That's its purpose. Thanks for asking. You should, yes. So let's regen. Okay. Let me open up a new tab and pull that. Okay. Ran in new tab. Do you need that secret? Excuse me. But yeah, the next layer of this is I'm creating like a login control panel to where you can start saving your own prompts and kind of like building your own profile within it. And we're using Convex on the back end. We're using Google Auth to sign up. We also added a terms of service privacy policy page in this episode. But right now we haven't deployed it yet because it's running into issues. And I also just had to go regenerate all these keys because I exposed them, which is fun stuff. Fun stuff. Now, what's going on? Why do we have duplicate auth secrets? I don't understand the reasoning behind having an auth secret and then a 1, 2, and a 3 if they're all the same values. This is clearly a config issue, an issue with the code base that's causing this. Okay. I mean, Opus is getting very defensive, saying it's not our code. It's how Convex dev /auth bundles auth core. The auth core library has string references to auth secret 1, 2, 3 for key rotation, and references like auth password ID and auth Google ID, etc. for every provider that it supports. Convex CLI does static analysis on the bundled code and flags every process.env. Okay. I mean, it's good to understand this. If only you just saw how many keys it created in production for me. But we're still running into errors, so listen, I can't show this part. Nice, nice. Well, hey, happy to have you here. It really is, though. It really is, though. You can get lost for hours at a time and then end up either reverting that work or realizing you didn't want to pursue it. But the positive in that quote unquote negative is you learn something. You know, I don't look at it as wasted time. Ever. I just get lost in the work. Close that. Bruh. This thing is going off right now. Oh, I also forgot. We were working on, what was it? Labs.google. I think fx/tools. Nope. I think it was just fx. Oh. There it is. Music FX. Wait a second. No, that wasn't it. I'm trying to remember what that it was project something. Let's see. Convex deployed successfully. Let me commit and push the fixes so Vercel rebuilds it too. All right. Let's see. Lyria 3, that's what it was called. No, it wasn't. I could have sworn we were using... Huh. Where was that? It wasn't in... Was it in verse... Oh, no, it was in producer AI, I believe. I need to favorite this next time. Yes, here it was. Playlists. I know we worked on this playlist during a past live stream. I want to start testing these on our live streams because I want a newer kind of like mix of music. And we'll keep adding to it. So we'll see if this gets flagged by YouTube. Building, come on now. Work, 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 work. Hey, thank you, Tio. I appreciate you. Very grateful. Cheers to the next 8. We're just getting started over here. I'm going to keep showing up every day. Yay, let's go. Okay. So now I can redeploy with the new Gemini API key here. Refresh. Let's go grab that API key for Vercel as well. Prompt browser, Google auth. API and services, credentials, show key, copy. It ends in those 2 characters. So now update that YouTube API key there. Edit. Save. Redeploy. Voila. Let's test it, shall we? Oh, wow. Wait a second. What just happened? Why? Shoot. I forgot that we did some work to it with Gemini. That's why it looks slightly different. Huh. Shit. That's really annoying. Let's just try the sign in though. Continue with Google. Authorization blocked. OAuth client was not found. Huh? I mean, maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe we just need to fine tune it a little bit. But it looks like also the... Shoot. Yeah, so we might have made a mistake. Well, Wonder how easy this would be to revert without reverting all the work we just did on OAuth. You deployed a version that we had Gemini build out for us just to see how it would look. I liked the original look, if I'm being brutally honest with you. Primarily the landing page, like we see this weird little badge called AI powered extraction. Everything's just bigger. It's not as aligned as it used to be. How difficult would it be to change that front end without affecting the back end changes that you've just made? Additionally, we ran into an issue when I was trying to log in, and I'm gonna share that screenshot here. Means the Google client ID in Convex prod is regenerated. Yes, I did. Let's go make sure that this client ID is the same as the one that's listed. Edit 108 AEG. Here's a screenshot of my Cloud Console page for this client ID. Maybe I didn't configure some of these variables correctly. Just double check it. Okay. Okay. Just an odd config thing. Derek has a lot of testing with creating different agents with different personas. Yes, to answer you, yes, I do. Every one of my agents that have their own individual workspace have their own souls and identities. Now, are they based off of fictional or, TV show characters? Not always. Derek has a lot of experience with that, actually, and I'm sure he has some fun insights and little snippets to share with you as far as like things that he's learned. But yeah. I don't know Holly from Red Dwarf, though, personally. Now I'm going to Google it, which is fitting with memory issues and pretty funny at times, but also insulting at others. Okay. Let's fix. Okay. Takes 5 minutes to a few hours for settings to take effect, but since the OAuth client was already created and working, it reached the Google sign-in page. It should work. Yeah. Okay. Let's make sure. Do another quick test. Really want. Did you redeploy those front end tweaks to bring it back to the old look? Commit and merge to main, please. Also, I don't see I thought you created a footer with some terms and some privacy policy for Prompt Browser after the initial landing page, the home page, when you're under Browse and Extract tabs. Please confirm that that's complete. And if not, build that out. I'm gonna have to check this out. Opening it up on another tab to ensure. Hey, thanks, Rung Latang. Appreciate you for sticking around. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, I'm getting hungry, but I want to finish this OAuth login really quickly. Okay. Cool. Should be going live with the new build momentarily. Come on now. You're almost there. Nice. Brought back the old look. Wonderful. Let's go to browse all. Ooh. So I don't see the sign in option, the sign in button on the nav header. Oh, wow. Look, 18 prompts from this one? That's insane. Oh, did that music just stop? So we got to make sure we loop that. And let's go to another playlist. Just going to loop that for now. Pushed. Okay, we have a new deployment going live here momentarily. Yeah, next step for prompt browser is I want to be able to extract the visual prop. Right now, we just reference it and say, hey, go check out this part of the video. But that is something I want to improve for this tool down the road. Come on, hard to refresh. Give us a login. There it is. Sign in. Continue. That's for the OAuth login. So it's a Convex issue. We are almost there. I haven't tested this or continue with email. I feel like I just want to do Google to keep it simple. I'm also noticing you have the option continue with Google or continue with email, but we didn't configure that email sign up, did we? All right, I was really trying to wait until the end of the stream. Give me 1 second. I got to take one more quick break, and then we'll wrap this up. All right. All right. I mean, all systems are operational, so it's been smooth sailing. Aha! How did it miss that variable? Come on, my guy. No, now when I click sign in, continue with Google, it just loads the home page again. It doesn't go through the auth. I believe we have to create the site URL to go through the flow, but it just put our root domain in there. Yeah. So it's fixing it for me. It's exactly what I was thinking. What's up, zombie? Welcome back. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a good day and a great week. Any fun plans this weekend? How do you get your assistant to complete a task without waiting for continuous prompting? Seems like I have to continuously poke him. Terrible complaint since it's doing all the work, I know. Let me understand this a little bit more. So I ran into like, I want to make sure I understand this correctly. So you're prompting it real time, having it do work, but then it doesn't go and do the work you ask it to do. Is that correct? Or is this related to, let's say you set a cron to do X, Y, and Z at a certain interval, Please elaborate a little bit further, and then explain. Let me know what model you're using as well, and I can try to be more helpful in my response. Okay, go ahead and do that. Nice, nice. Interesting. Okay. You know, I don't have this experience with it because I don't use ChatGPT Pro for my primary agent. So the route that I would take here is explain as calmly as possible, saying, hey, every time I give you a task, you do bits and pieces and then you stop. Even when you don't need approval. Is there anything I need to do to configure you better? Like maybe creating certain rules or standard operating procedures to where you can just do the work? Or is this a limitation of the model that you're using and the subscription that we have with ChatGPT Pro? Can you please look into this? And like take that approach and talk to it back and forth. Understand the why it's acting the way it's acting, and first see if there's anything environment specific that you can improve on. That could just be a limitation of that model and the speed of that model with that subscription, right? Because they do limit the speed of the Pro subscription for 5.4. So I would just take the approach of talking to it and explaining and asking why, right? And then pushing back, like don't just be a yes man, right? Tell GPT, don't just be a yes man. I'm trying to understand why you're not working the way I'd like you to work and what we can do to improve that. And then it will analyze what's going on and give you that feedback. And then from there, you kind of build from there. Like if it's a user context or system context issue that you need to give more information, give that information. If it's a model specific issue on its other end, there's nothing you can really do about that, right? Aside from upgrading. But I would never tell you to just go blindly pay for a more expensive model without first understanding the why as to why your particular subscription isn't working as best it can. But that would be my honest, authentic approach to trying to figure out why it's acting the way it's acting. Sadly, I have no intention on testing a main agent with 5.4. I use 5.4, my Pro sub, for backend work. That handles in Elon's department. So a sub agent spins it up and runs Codex 5.4. So I don't have it working as my personal assistant, for example. I do plan on testing 5.4, I think it's called the business account or something. I forget, the $200 a month plan, where I'm going to build out an OC setup from scratch. So I'll have a little bit more input. However, I know the output's going to be different than if I were to use a $20 a month plan, right? Oh man, I was really hoping to finish the stream before this battery died. Let me go swap that out real quick. right, we should be back with the video. Now we should be back with the video. Oh, it did automatically. So let's sign out, do a hard refresh, go to a private tab, prompt browser.net. Let's go to browse all, sign in. Okay. Okay, step one done. So I think we're at a good stopping point here. I'm going to finish this Monday. I really want to get to dinner. I don't want to be streaming all night. Oh, so you are on the $200 a month plan. Interesting. Okay. I would double check to see how OC configured your plan, to see like what the reasoning level is, because you can specify, I believe, low, medium, high, if I'm not mistaken. As I mentioned, I don't have much experience operating off of that plan yet. So as soon as I sign up, which I'm planning to do after the boot camp, I'll have more input to give you and more hands-on experience with running into that same issue. But I would first analyze, like, how is the model working, right? Are you using the smartest possible version of it? And then go from there, right? But a lot of it's just prompting it and explaining like what it's doing and what it's doing wrong and how to fix it, and like a plan to fix it moving forward. That's the approach I would take. Okay, yeah, so I'll have more input on this, as I mentioned. Yeah, thanks, you too. So, hey, everybody, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to another ClearMud live stream. We covered a lot of topics today and vibe coded a whole bunch of stuff and improved on prompt browser, improved on clock rib as well. I'm going to fine tune this login. So let's actually go look at what the dashboard looks like right now. My saved prompts. Okay. So I didn't add a save feature yet. I wonder if we copy it, if that goes into my saved prompts. Not yet. We're going to build this out slowly but surely. So we'll be back at it Monday. I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. Have a great weekend. Go touch some grass. Don't forget to disconnect. Focus on what's important. And we'll be back at it on Monday. So until then, hope you have a great weekend and happy building. Cheers. Later, Ryan. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Zombie. Thank you, Ranglatang. Thank you, Garuda. Thank you, Tio. Thank you, Stonesy. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Greek. Thank you, Dogstar, for the sub today as well. The membership. Thanks for the coffee. Thank you, Whoosh. And I can't keep scrolling. Just thanks, everybody.